What's your general programming philosophy from like a starting point?
It all obviously depends on a lot of factors. Like, is this somebody who is brand new to powerlifting? Is this like a seasoned lifter who's maybe they're on their own or they had a coach before? Because obviously you're going to get different information depending on who you're working with. Coming in, I generally like to start people with, if I'm deciding between how much I'm going to do, I generally go on the lower side. So the philosophy is kind of like, if we can progress with less, why are we doing more? This is working or this is not working. It's a lot easier to add that way compared to throwing the kitchen sink at them and then being okay, like what should we reduce? What should we take away? I just start with things like pretty conservative and then just build from there. Like if somebody comes from a coach and they're like, I was doing really well with this, but then like I was doing X amount of volume or Y amount of frequency, whatever the case, and it was too much, I'm obviously just gonna start with less. It's just very like, it doesn't happen very often where like somebody had like great success with the coach and then they leave their coach to come to you. So like obviously you're gonna make a change. Right.
Yeah.
So a lot of times I notice people are usually doing a little bit too much and kind of pulling them back. And I mean, it just depends on what kind of lifters you work with too. Cause like, I don't work with a lot of robots, and by robots, I mean like guys who don't really have hard jobs. They kind of just like chill, like maybe they have like an easy job or like they don't have very hard course load at school, and then they can just go to the gym. They're super leverage based, like maybe like 74s or 83s. Like I don't work with a lot of people like that. So with people like that, you could obviously push the envelope a little bit more, getting into higher frequencies and higher average intensities. A lot of guys that I work with are like pretty like blue collar, or like they're going like hard course loads at school. They're maybe tall, but still like a 93 or a 105. So like with guys like that, what is something like, where's the sweet spot where we can do enough to push things forward and you can consistently recover from this load, whether it's, again, the frequency or the intensity, or the overall volume. And then just obviously like when we're going into like a peak or something, we're going to like bump that up a little bit. But a lot of times it just comes down to just, again, finding what's going to be recoverable for somebody and sustainable. Because maybe we could find something that's like, okay, if we do a little bit more, it's like we have a great response for a block or for 2 blocks, but then we die and then it takes 4 months to recover from it.
Yeah.
Then it's like, okay, well, like what was the point of that? Like, you know, maybe it's like some good data points to be like, okay, like we can do this like at a very specific time of the year, like to get ready for a meet or something. But generally I'm just trying to find that sweet spot again of like, okay, like how can we do the most quality work possible? You look at your program, you're not like, oh my God, like I'm not going to survive, or I have to like go warm up for an hour before my session starts. That's like the basic philosophy of it, I guess.